everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Channel. You've got Murph, you've got the Freebird, Caleb Brashear, and we are live from what happens when you take the wrong turn at the 16th Street exit in Indianapolis, Indiana. You go toward Indianapolis, you wind up at IMS. You go away from Indianapolis, you come out to Brownsburg, Indiana, which is home of Indianapolis Raceway Park, formerly known as Lucas Oil Raceway Park. This track is steeped in open wheel, USAC, midget sprint car racing. NASCAR races have been held here since 1982. It is also, you can see in the background, home of the world's biggest drag race. That's the U.S. Nationals, held right here annually on Labor Day weekend. And Caleb, we're not at the drag strip. We're at the .686 mile oval for truck. Oh, right, or for AMA for AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series action tonight. If you can get my tongue untied, tell us what we can expect tonight, my man.
Well, this is one of the most popular tracks, not only in real life but in the AMA as well. We already have quite a few number of drivers showing up for this event, and it's a very flat styled short track, and you're going to see a lot of drivers actually have a lot of good side-by-side battles throughout the duration of the race. In terms of AMA history here and what we've seen in the past, well, we've seen some good battles, but we've also seen some absolute domination. Last year, Chad Dulabon swept the race last year, led every single lap, got the fastest lap as well in last year's event. He is not signed up for tonight, so we will see a new winner. In terms of past winners here in the AMA here at IRP, David Dunwoody is your 2024 winner here. So he, it's been a while since he had a win. This is a track he's won at in the past. We'll see if he's able to replicate that. But other than that, your fastest lap overall at 21.731, qualifying just slightly slower down at 22.1. And we got just over 135 miles of here at IRP, 200 laps total.
It is this track, like I said earlier, steeped in NASCAR history. The Nationwide Series, or Grand National Series, I should say, used to run here in a race called the Kroger 200. That started in 1982, and it was an annual stop, independent of the Winston Cup cars. They would often come here either the week before or the week after Michigan. At one point, that was an off week, and so the drivers would come here. You'd see a lot of the famous names from the Cup Series drive here. Dale Earnhardt Sr., Kenny Schrader would make annual stops here, among others. This place also has a road course that at one point hosted the USAC Championship Car Trail, which would be analogous to the modern IndyCar Series. It held USAC stock car races both on the oval and the road course. That was called the Yankee 300. The Hooters Pro Cup Series has been here. There's all kinds of driving schools. I have driven here in a late model stock car in a very distant past life, Caleb. And annually it hosts one of the biggest sprint car races of the year. The night before the 500 used to be held annually at the 16th Street Speedway, which was right across this track, right across the street from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Several years ago, that was torn down. That event was moved out here. Sprints, midgets, Silver Crown cars. They run Formula 2000 out here. A whole bunch of stuff happens at Indianapolis Raceway Park the night before the Indianapolis 500, and you can come out here and see those events for yourself. But tonight, it's all about the trucks. And Caleb, the one thing that I remember about racing this track in the AMA is you basically have to pick a corner. Do you want the right front or the right rear to wear out? One of them is going to go dead on you before your run is over tonight in the Simshop 200.
Yeah, that certainly is the case here. It seems like it is going to be a little bit on the tire side. Just in the brief testing I had earlier, the truck does seem to be actually very well balanced, but it does seem to be slightly more on the tighter side than it is on the looser side. So you're going to probably burn off the right front just a little bit more than you probably want to, more so than the right rear. But you'll see a lot of the drivers kind of struggle with the tire grip. It's not very quick, but it does fall off a cliff once we start to gain to the end of the stages and start getting, 50 to 60 laps on these tires. Then you'll start to feel a lot of that degradation over the course of those stints there.
It is, and the other thing, even though it's a short track, this track tends to produce pretty long runs, Caleb. We've got a decent field signed in tonight for the race at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the AMA and Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. 27 cars, but it does tend to get more spread out than your typical half mile, and so be on the keep a watchful eye out for that. We do tend, once we get going, to have some long green flag runs. The other bit is that because the line here is right up against the wall, Caleb, because the line here is right up against the wall, we do wind up in a situation where it's how to put this. We wind up, my mouse went up.
It's not very easy to pass here, per se. You're going to have a lot of side-by-side pals, but actual passing here is not very easy. I think is what Murph is trying to get that, because the high line against the wall, as he's saying there, is pretty much going to be the fastest line, especially as, the track gets more worn in over the course of the race. So you're going to have a lot of battling, but it's going to be very hard to try to make even the middle line work to try to get a run on somebody and clear him on the exit of the corners.
It is. Lap traffic is also going to be a battle tonight with 27 cars on track. You're going to see a speed differential between the fast cars and the slow ones. Speaking of fast cars, I'll give you 3 guesses as to who's the fastest truck in Indianapolis tonight.
Well, I got the timing screen on my board here, Murph. It's always Ryan O'Donohue. It seems like here in the Truck Series, he's always at the top of the board, and he is here tonight. We usually see him occasionally at the top of the board is James Hodgson. He is currently P2 on the board as well. Right behind him, Greg Evans, Kendall Paul, and Sam Crow. But it's all very close together. But of course, Ryan O'Donohue always at the top of the board as usual in these practice sessions. Also as qualifying as well, he's also usually up to the top of the board as we've seen so many times before. But James Hodgson occasionally will throw his hat into the ring being up there, but good to see him up in second. And then Greg Evans, with really very few practice laps, is in third. Of course, Greg Evans, your last winner out at North Wilkesboro on a part-time schedule. He already has 2 wins on the season and only a handful of starts this season. He looks like he's going to make it back-to-back here at IRP here tonight, Murph.
It does. One of the things that I did want to point out to you, Caleb, and you kind of see it, is pit road here can be pretty treacherous. We do not anticipate green flag pit stops tonight. Stages in this race are going to be 60, and 80. We do not anticipate you'll see green flag stops. But if you have to make one, the entrance to pit road here is quite abrupt going into turn number 3. You have to slow down very quickly. It is a warm-up lane. It is very slick, and it can be very difficult to navigate. So keep your eye on that. If you see a driver having to make a green flag pit stop, we are less than a minute away from qualifications, and we're going to see a dandy here in the Simshop 200 tonight. The run for the Simshop Pole Award is just about upon us, Caleb.
It's indeed, right as they say, Ryan O'Donohue in a practice queue run just put another 10th over the rest of the field there with a 22.386 with just under 30 seconds to go left in practice. Greg Evans also was able to get around James Hodgson for that second place spot on the board. Looks like he's on another flyer. Now Logan Edwards also shoots up to the 4th place position up on the board. And just under 10 seconds remaining here in the practice session before we get qualifying underway.
Do want to point out the track record for the Truck Series here, 22.081. That was set by Joe Ruttman in 2000. So that record is nearly 27 or 26 years old. The outright record is held by Braden Eves in the USF Pro 2000 car, 19.4602 seconds, 126 miles an hour. That was set 2 years ago in the USF Pro 2000 race. We are ready for qualifications. The run for the Simshop Pole Award is on. If you go to www.simshop.com, you can take care of all of your sim racing needs. That's simshop.com. Just keep driving. Put the link in the chat, and let's get on to the racetrack. Let's have a look at Kendall Paul here as he heads around Indianapolis Raceway Park. Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Excuse me, Caleb.
Excuse yourself. You can see Kendall Paul. He's going to ride that high line almost against the wall there. That is typically the fastest line here at IRP. Sometimes you can cut it down late on the corner, but should be the second lap is going to be your fastest lap. You can see Kendall get really tight on entry there and kind of ride that middle lane. With a fresh set of Goodyear rubber, you're able to use that middle line and possibly carry a little bit more speed than just riding the high line. You can see him get a little bit tight on entry, but right in that middle line. You don't want to be towards the bottom, Murph, because that bottom line is actually nearly perfectly flat in that first groove. So the middle and top, because it's slightly banked, is just the faster line. You can see how Kendall Paul is using that middle line right on the edge of the groove there, where it goes from bank to no bank. You can see how he is using that to his advantage. Comes across the line now, and he's going to put himself P2 on the board with a 22.471. Drops out into P3. Greg Evans goes to the top of your board at the moment.
He is. Let's take a look at Andrew Gates, his run, the number 13 machine. There's Andrew Gates. He's warming up to get himself out onto the speedway. Andrew Gates will come by, and he'll go on the clock for his first lap. We did see Kendall Paul. The marker for where the track goes flat, if in case anybody wants to know, is you see 3 lane markers. There is a seam line just to the left of the leftmost dotted set of lines. That's where the track goes flat. You do not want to put your left side wheels below that. It will instantly shoot you up the speedway. And there you see Andrew Gates right on that line. He is big time loose coming off of turn 4, Caleb.
Yeah, he got a little bit too excited with the throttle pedal there. But you can see he is right on that seam there, going through 1 and 2, trying to get the power down, coming off turn number 2. And again, he is below the seam. He's actually going to run the flat part of 3 and 4. We'll see if he's able to improve. Currently 14th on the board, and he does not improve. He's going to stay 14th at the moment with just over 2 minutes left in queue.
He did. Matt Wagner, as is his MO, is setting a very slow lap. Justin Osterman on the speedway. Mr. Excitement takes his time, and here's Osterman. We'll jump on board and let you see what the 53 sees right through the eyeballs of Justin Osterman. Mr. Excitement, he's coming around to complete lap 1, Caleb. This one might be good.
It might be good indeed. He had a good run at also the other Indianapolis track in the Grand National Series last night. Unfortunately, ran out of fuel in turn number 3. We'll see if he's able to replicate a good result here. He's been on a streak of podiums in both series last night, and he was looking to get another one last night, but unfortunately with just being a little bit short on fuel. But tonight he qualifies in P12 with a 22.599. That'll put him P12 on the board, as I said. And he's going to have to do some work if he wants to try to get back up in the podium places here.
He will. Out goes Sam Crow, the number 8, cured by Cookie Chevrolet. You see Sam Crow navigating Indianapolis Raceway Park. Comes off of turn number 4. He is right on that seam as well. This will be lap number 1. Sam Crow on the clock in the 8. A ram this week for Sam Crow. He doesn't look it doesn't look like there's anything dramatic happening with that number 8 truck, and that usually at a short track, Caleb, that usually means you're going to be pretty quick.
Yes, it does. He gets really close to the wall on exit in turn number 2. Already his first lap is a 4:45. Very nice and tidy going through 1 and 2. We'll see if he gets just a little bit more time, gets a little bit tight on entry and the middle of the corner, but gets a pretty decent exit here. I think this will be slightly faster. And it does. He's able to actually get himself inside the top 5 here, right at the end of Q here.
Sam Crow just beat the buzzer, Caleb. He crossed the line as time in the session was expiring. And that means we're going to come to the grid. Here at IRP, the winner of the Simshop Pole Award, Ryan O'Donoghue. He clocks in with a lap at 108.721 miles an hour. He'll be flanked by the forward-facing 88, James Hodgson. Welcome back. Outside of the front row, Greg Evans, Logan Edwards. They'll go from row 2, Sam Crow. Kendale Paul, row 3. In row 4, it's going to be Paul Witt and Mike Rigney, Dylan Grutzmacher, and Shane Fleming round out your top 10. In 11th, how about Jim Duda, John Hutchins will start next to Jim, 11th and 12th, Justin Osterman 13th, and Keith Graham, Brian Sharp, Ted Craven, Andrew Gates, Matt Sizzler. He's a little buried, not the qualifying run we're used to seeing out of Matt Sizzler. He's going to start 18th. Jason Phillips and Say Hey Lewis Hayes round out the top 20. 21st, it's Michael Kirk, then Sean Roberts goes from 22nd. David Dunwoody, last year's winner here, will roll from 23rd. Matt Wagner, he set a qualifying lap at 15 miles an hour, Caleb. He'll start 24th. Chuck Sweeting, Austin Hund, and Jeremy Dunwoody did not take time. That is your starting grid as we get ready to rock and roll here from Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, or Lucas Oil Speedway at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
This is an absolutely just stacked field. 27 drivers on the grid, as we said. This is one of the biggest fields we've seen here in the AMA. And as we said, IRP is typically one of the most popular tracks for any sort of stock car service. It just drives very, very nice. And you really have to, it's really a driver's track, in my opinion, Murph.
It most certainly is, and that's why people love it. You can really make a difference. The setup here is not so important. What's important, Caleb, is how you manage the right foot, and we're definitely going to see who's the best at managing that. The trucks are already on the backstretch. Lights are out on the pace truck, so they're only going to give it one lap here. Or are they going to give it 2?
No, it is 2 laps. It is 2 laps.
It is 2 laps. So I was mistaken, as I often am. That would be...
the lights are out, though. They are indeed out. It's just... it might be an iRacing glitch, perhaps.
It could. There you see the cars flash under the grandstand. This would be what you see if you sat in the luxury box at the very top of Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. As we get ready to hit the green flag, Barney is going to put it in the air. The restart zone is just about where that grass strip ends. And so when the trucks get there, we'll have the green flag a-waving. Barney's got it in his hand. Pace truck is going to pull into pit lane. Ryan O'Donoghue leads him around turns 3 and 4. There are the trucks. Restart zone. Green flag is out, and we are underway. 200 laps in the AMA Archway Truck Series is on, and they scream down into turn 1.
They do scream down, and James Hodgson has the run on the high side over Ryan O'Donoghue. Logan Edwards is going to follow him through. James Hodgson shoots out to the lead using that high line in 1 and 2. Logan Edwards trying to follow him. Greg Evans drops a little bit back. He's got Kendale Paul to his outside. One of the cars into the wall. I believe that's John Houchins in the back there. No, that is back Mike Rigney that tapped the wall there, and the 29 is around. But it saves it. Paul Witt saves it. He was did a half spin in 1 and 2, able to keep it going forward though. But backed up towards the front. Greg Evans now making a charge on Logan Edwards for that third place spot. Sam Crow is also looking to follow him. Right behind Logan Edwards is Kendall Paul. So it looks like the middle groove is kind of the preferred groove. Just a couple laps in here at IRP.
The middle line is preferred early. I will say this, James Hodgson jumping in the lead, more of a function of the outside line here being preferred over the bottom. He was able to use that to his advantage to get the lead from Ryan O'Donoghue, but O'Donoghue is going to battle back on the bottom. Ryan O'Donoghue going for the lead, lap 4 here at IRP. They banged doors coming off of turn number 2. That's something we're going to see a lot of tonight, Caleb. O'Donoghue on the bottom, Hodgson on the top. O'Donoghue inches ahead off of turn number 4. Can he clear him?
He can do. He just about there, a little bit further back they were. Dylan Grutzbacher getting really loose on turn number 4, drops quite a few number positions. Had a 3-wide moment previous lap with Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul coming off turn number 2, but tried to use that very bottom groove. And unfortunately, just got a little bit loose when coming back up on the transitioning. Right in front of them, Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul still going side by side. Logan is finally able to clear Kendall, but he has lost a couple of positions both to Sam Crow and Greg Evans after being in third place on the initial start.
Hop on the roof cam, Kendall Paul. There he is. Caution is on the speedway. Caution is out. Brian Sharp has brought his machine to a standstill. Matt Sizzler is around, and Matt Sizzler had been had been in the chat earlier. He said he and the IRP did not have the best relationship, and he has severely damaged the left front of that machine. We're going to get back in the Wayback Machine and see exactly what's befallen Matt Sizzler here. Ooh, he got tagged. I believe that is the number 1 of Ted Craven.
It was indeed, Murph. It seemed maybe Ted got a little bit loose on that high side there. Maybe a little bit too eager on the throttle, maybe, but let's take a good look here.
Yeah, you can see the number 1 spin up and turn left, and there's Sizzler. He gets turned around, and poor Brian Sharp. Sizzler was going to be okay, and Brian Sharp, standing on his brakes, couldn't avoid him. Center punches his Ford into the Ram of Matt Sizzler. Both of those machines headed toward pit lane with a meatball. Ryan O'Donoghue leads it under the admin box caution here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We've got a bunch of it. Do want to thank series sponsor Archway Industrial Coatings. They're a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail flooring, or concrete repair at home, you found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. Ryan O'Donoghue leads it under caution. Nobody brought their cars to pit lane. Matt Sizzler has ejected from the number 93, a tough end to his evening. Just 7 laps in, Caleb. Matt Sizzler already out of the race. Brian Sharp sits on pit road attempting to repair his 125 machine. That might not be a bad idea given that this track, although it can produce long runs, Caleb, it can also produce some carnage.
Does. It's complete polar opposites if you look at past results here in the AMA. 2024, we had 16 cautions. Last year in 2025, we only had 4. So it's complete polar opposites here at IRP. It's one of those tracks, in my opinion, once you get a long green flag run and you get the trucks separated, then you'll get those long green flag runs. But cautions breed cautions, and it always happens at short tracks. Pace truck is in. Ryan O'Donoghue's going to lead him to the green flag here on the restart.
Green flag.
And we are back underway here at IRP.
There we go. They file down into turn number 1. There's a truck all the way down on the flat. That would be David Dunwoody, I believe, is the truck all the way down there. He's known to do that here at Phoenix. Anywhere where there's an apron available, he's been known to run it on the opening laps of a stint. immediately after a restart. Back to the front of the field, Sam Crow on the charge. He gets past Kendall Paul. Sam Crow pulls up even with James Hodgson now.
Yeah, he does. He looks to the inside of James Hodgson, trying to use that middle groove there. He's got a good run through the middle of the corner, but because James is on the high side, he's not able to get a run. A little bit of contact further back, just behind these guys. I believe that was Logan Edwards and Dylan Grutzmacher. Grutzmacher having another little incident there. And Mike Rigney. Kendall Paul smacks the wall pretty hard coming off turn number 2. And Sam Crow able to get around James Hodgson, and Hodgson is dropping back. He's got the 16 to his side with him, Jim Duda. Coming off the corner. We got 2 separate spinners.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Paul Witt, one of those trucks around. There's Paul Witt. So we're going to have to go back and sort this out. But we do have 2 separate incidents as called by Caleb Brashear. Let's see what we've got. What we got with Paul Witt. He's banging doors. Okay, so you've got Justin Osterman and the 90 truck. They get into it. Paul Witt goes around. And Dylan Grutzmacher also went around. He and Logan Edwards tangled just in front of this. Well, I wouldn't say they tangled. Grutzmacher lit the rear tires up coming off of turn number 4, spun around. I don't think there was contact between he and Logan Edwards, but there was definitely contact between Paul Witt and the truck numbered 90. And I don't. That's Shane Fleming. Let's see if we can't get a better. Let's see if we can't get a better look at this, Caleb. Get in the blimp. There we go.
Yeah, it all starts with Shane and Osterman out in front, right in front of Paul Witt. And Paul Witt just had nowhere to go. And Shane sent it a little bit too deep into turn 3 and got into Osterman's side there. And that caused the checkup coming off the corner. And Paul Witt was not able to get out of the way in time. And unfortunately, he goes around.
He did go around indeed, Caleb, and we're back under yellow. The admin box caution flag flies again, lap 15, but we are now 16 complete, working lap 17 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Matt Sisler chimes in and says he's not happy with Ted. He's done, and that's unfortunate for Matt Sisler. This is a day-to-night race, Caleb. You can see the sun going down in the background, 82 degrees on the track, 88 on the track, 82 in the air, not much wind. Skies are clear. The lights are going to be on before we're done here tonight. And how's that going to change the track?
Well, it's going to actually make it a little bit more grippier, and it's going to be easier to drive these trucks around, the 0.7 miles short track here. It's going to allow a little bit closer racing. It's going to allow trucks to go a little bit faster, just having a little bit more grip with the cooler track temps. So the trucks will get progressively faster over the course of the race, and that will allow also for them to run the third lane a little bit more than they had so far in the first 18 laps here.
We're going to see if we can get some spread out green flag action. Ryan O'Donohue leads Greg Evans, Sam Crow, Kendall Paul, row 2. They're followed by James Hodgson and Jim Duda on row 3. Logan Edwards, Mike Rigney look on from row 4. The green flag is out. Ryan O'Donohue hits the loud pedal, and he's going to see if he can't race away off into the distance. He gets a good jump off of Greg Evans. Meanwhile, the action is right back here. You've got Kendall Paul and Sam Crow side by side. Sam Crow a little loose down there on the bottom. He's trying to clear Kendall Paul, and he just may do so. He does not. He runs into a roadblock, Caleb, and that's teammate Greg Evans.
His teammate Greg Evans right in front of him. Ryan O'Donohue tags the wall in the lead, but Kendall Paul having that high side line, trying to make it work, but Sam Crow is able to clear him. Just behind them, Jim Duda and James Hodgson are going to go into turn number 3 side by side. Jim Duda able to get the position. James is going to have to go side by side with that 80 truck of Mike Rigney. Mike Rigney tags the wall there, but he's able to get a good run through turns 1 and 2, and another caution flag is out.
Say Hey Lewis Hayes has spun the number 43 machine. He is around. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is going to bring out the caution, and we're going to see what's happened to Lewis. He was 3 wide. He's got the 09 of Keith Graham out there, the 28 of David Dunwoody, and there's contact, Caleb, between Keith Graham and Say Hey Lewis Hayes. You see Michael Kirk avoid. Dylan Grutzmacher does the same. Let's see if we can't jump in the blimp. Such a great angle. I want to thank Whiplash SimCams for the tremendous camera angles here. You see Lewis and Keith Graham, their contact going into turn 3 there for certain sure. And then Lewis is going to be 3 wide. That's David Dunwoody running the flat down there. He's known for doing that early in runs. They're going to come off the corner, and Keith Graham comes off the corner just a little bit too low, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes not clear. Around he goes.
Yeah, it seemed like if you look at it from a straightaway point of view, it did seem like Keith may have came down just ever so slightly on the exit of the corner and just tagged Say Hey Lewis Hayes' right rear there. But it seems like, looking at Lewis Hayes' truck right now, it seems like it's still going forward, so he didn't get too much damage from that, which is good. He's actually back out on track right now, exiting pit lane, so he looks like he is going to have to, he's able to continue going forward, and that just keeps our retirements to the first incident between Brian Sharp and Matt Sisler, your only 2 retirements. Well, I say that, but Brian Sharp is actually back out on track right now.
Yeah, and that's a good move from Brian Sharp, and the reason you want to stay out there, Caleb, is honestly, there's going to be attrition in this race. These drivers are there. There's going to be incidents. Look, Brian Sharp's running the full season. He's in the hunt to be in the chase for the championship. That's something that we'll talk about in a little bit. But why not? Brian Sharp, he's 10 laps down. He's going to come back out here, and if there's additional yellow, he might be able to make up some time. But he's going to pick up spots, Caleb, as trucks fall out of this race.
Yeah, and, we always think long-term, the championship, you got to get as many points as you can here before the chase starts and try to get yourself locked in into the top 12 positions for the chase. And every little point counts. There are drop weeks for the regular season, but if you have, another couple of bad races, you can't afford to lose any points whatsoever. So him just staying out there and try to pick up any spots he can from other people DNFing is a really smart move.
It most certainly is. Ryan O'Donohue leads them back toward Barney and the green flag.
Green flag, green
goes
flag.
Back in the air, 25 laps complete. 35 to go to the stage. Ryan O'Donohue leads them 6 down into turn 1.
They storm down into turn number 1, and they are 4 wide. A little bit further back, I saw Osterman. I believe that was David Dunwoody as well going 4 wide. And John Houchins in the 72. They were 4 wide going through turn number 1. I believe they also split the 90 of Shane Fleming. Whoa! Sam Crow gets really loose off the turn number 4 going down the back front straightaway there. He's going to have to yield to Jim Duda on the high side. They make a little bit of contact going off turn number 2. Jim Duda trying to make that high line work on Sam Crow. Sam Crow already losing a couple positions off the start here.
Giving new meaning to door handle to door handle. They touch coming off of turn number 4 one more time. Jim Duda, I thought, was going to clear that spot, but Sam Crow comes right back to the inside. He might have tagged the left rear bumper of Jim Duda. That does loosen up Sam Crow, though. James Hodgson will storm to the inside of Sam Crow as they head toward turn number 4, but Sam now gets himself more firmly ensconced into that 5th spot a little bit further back. Justin Osterman, Keith Graham, Shane Fleming, David Dunwoody, they're having a heck of a fight back here. This is for the last spot in the top 10. That's Keith Graham. Osterman's going to go through. Here comes Dunwoody and Fleming.
Osterman holding that middle line. You can see where he is right in that groove there. He's able to finally clear. That is Keith Graham on the high side. Now David Dunwoody using the very bottom as far down as he can get. Now David Dunwoody has a run on Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement on the inside there. They are 2 by 2 by 2. And the 90 goes around.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Shane Fleming in the Bill Elliott painted number 90 around up the speedway, and unfortunately Paul Witt got a piece of that too. It was Shane Fleming off the nose of Paul Witt. He's going to lock it down, and he just gets center punched in the rear bumper by Paul Witt. Both trucks into the wall. And I'd imagine that that's going to result in some hot tempers here, Caleb, as we go back under the admin box yellow flag. 31 of 200 on the board here at Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Do want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings for their support of the AMA. If you need a floor in St. Louis, give them a call. Archwaycoatings.com. Look them up. I might need some new concrete in my basement there, Caleb. Let's see if they'll come to South Bend.
See, indeed. Caution again here at IRP. We've actually equaled the number of cautions in stage number 1 than we did in last year's race, Murph. So we're seeing a little bit more attrition this time around.
IRP is one of those races, Caleb. It can go one way or another. It can either be a lot of cautions and you spend a lot of time under the yellow light, or it can get real spread out and you can reel off 100 green flag laps here like it's nothing. We've got JT Smeaton in the chat cheering on Logan Edwards. Welcome to the broadcast, JT. David Dunwoody says he's just going to keep swimming. Dunwoody's made it up in the top 10, Caleb.
Yes, he is, starting at 23rd position, up 13 spots in 33 laps. Not even a quarter of the way through, he's already gained so much time on the field. We've seen it, it feels like we see him do that all the time. He starts kind of towards the back of the field, and then we just see him go up towards the front so many times before, whether it's the Truck Series, the Grand National Series. It just feels like it's commonplace for David Dunwoody to be inside the top 10 by the time it ends stage number 1, despite starting way, way back in the field.
I kind of got the thought that Dunwoody, he's a past winner here. I kind of got the thought that maybe he spent a lot of time on his race stuff and didn't really think about qualifying all that much. And that may be why he's back there. The two DVD Motorsports teammates of O'Donoghue and Evans going to lead it back to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
It's back on the speedway. Ryan O'Donoghue gets the loud pedal one more time, and 2x2, they file into turn number 1. O'Donoghue clears Greg Evans. Here comes Kendall Paul, and Jim Duda's going to try to join that fight for the lead.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side. A little bit of contact between Kendall Paul and Jim Duda. Kendall really sends it in there on the bottom side. Jim Duda trying to make the outside line work, taps the wall on exit. They're still going to go side by side as they go into turn number 1. Sam Crow also trying to look to get around that number 16. It seemed like under caution they came to a little bit of a contact right when it came out. But both trucks still going forward. Jim Duda trying to make the high side work. But Ken Dale still on the bottom, making the middle line, getting good runs off the exit corner. Now Jim Duda able to get around Kendall Paul. And let's see if Sam Crow has anything for him as Ryan O'Donoghue and Greg Evans set sail off in the distance here in the middle of stage number 1.
They do. Dylan Grutzmacher and Justin Osterman just about came to blows off of turn number 2. Grutzmacher had that truck flat sideways off the nose of Justin Osterman. They continue to battle. They get Keith Graham and Shane Fleming in direct contact, but Dylan Grutzmacher and Justin Osterman were going after it. Osterman now has fallen into the clutches of Keith Graham. This is 12th and 13th at the moment.
Yeah, Osterman shuts the door on Keith Graham on a high side. Second, he got clear of him. Now Shane Fleming on the bottom, and he gets spin. Spun off turn number 4, Shane Fleming, but no caution.
We stay green.
We stay green here in stage number 1.
Let's get back and briefly take a look. Shane Fleming, Keith Graham, they're side by side. Fleming down on the flat there. I'm going to guess we're going to see them come together off the corner, and we do. And that's what brought out the the holdup was for Shane Fleming and Keith Graham. No caution though. Greg Evans is now all over the back of Ryan O'Donoghue for the lead of this race.
He is indeed. Greg Evans, of course, the last winner out at North Wilkesboro. Kind of was on a different strategy to everybody else. Took tires at caution a little bit early in stage number 3, and thankfully it went green to the end from there for him. But this time, right now, he's got his teammate Ryan O'Donoghue, who is a full-time driver, right in front of him. Jim Duda and everybody else behind him also full-time. So Greg Evans is just here on a part-time schedule. He said last night he wants to be here at IRP. He loves this track. He did get permission. I would imagine he got a permission to run this track, considering he is here. But right now, he doesn't really care about anything championship, not playing it safe. He wants to win this race. He said he loves this track, and, well, he's already got 2 wins on the season and only 4 starts.
Now, you're part of a big team, Caleb. Is the championship a consideration for Greg Evans, knowing that Ryan O'Donoghue is a part of that fight and you are not? Do you think about that while you're racing for the win here?
Typically, I always do, especially, vote of last year, where I was kind of out of contention about halfway through. But you had the likes of, Logan and Brendan fighting those championships. You kind of have to make sure that they're good. And right now, this is exactly what Ryan O'Donoghue needs. He is in the lead of the race. And his championship rivals, everybody that's in front of him, well, Matt Sisler is directly ahead of him by 4 points, 536 versus 532. Matt Sisler is already out of race and is going to finish dead last in P27. Kendall Paul, well, he's in front of him, but Kendall's back in that 4th place position. So Kendall Paul still might be able to get in the current positions, hold over Ryan O'Donoghue. And Logan Edwards, currently first in the championship right now, is back in P8. So, but he's got quite a bit of a lead over everybody else. But if Ryan O'Donoghue is able to get a really good championship result here, that would really help him in the long run going into the chase. And right now, Greg Evans, I guarantee you, is 100% thinking about that.
Yeah, and this does mark the end of a stretch. We've raced 3 consecutive Friday nights here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. 2 weeks off before we go to the Cartoon Clash 250 presented by Blackmagic Studios August the 14th. Caleb, this is going to be your first Cartoon Clash, and that is a ton of fun. It's a special paint scheme night here in the AMA. You don't want to miss that, August 14th. Back to the front of the field. Kendall Paul, Sam Crow, and Jim Duda, they're having a tussle 3rd, 4th, and 5th. James Hodgson kind of rides along in 6th, but it's starting to get spread out now, Caleb. It's starting to not everybody be so far on top of each other. Tires are wearing out a little bit, and you're starting to see some spacing here throughout the field.
You are indeed. You got a little bit of jostling back in the midfield on back, and you got these groups, and there are some massive gaps between a lot of these drivers. Ryan O'Donoghue and Greg Evans have kind of separated themselves from 3rd and everybody else a little bit further back. Then Logan Edwards has a bit of a gap between him and David Dunwoody. And then you got massive gap between Justin Osterman and Mr. Excitement, almost a full corner's length between him and Austin Hunn. So the entire field is very spread out over a course of a very short distance ever since the restart. But it just goes to show this track can either be fully attrition-like, kind of like how we see at like a Martinsville, or it could get these long green flag runs that we usually see at like some of the 1.5 miles.
Yeah, there's the gap between Austin Hunn and Justin Osterman. We're on the back of Justin. It's a full straightaway, about 4.5 seconds. It is worth mentioning Austin Hunn 0.4 quicker than Justin Osterman the last time through. So he is definitely gaining. Kendall Paul, Jim Duda, and Sam Crow, they're going to go after it one more time. Kendall Paul makes his way past Jim Duda. And remember, Sam Crow and Jim Duda had very nearly come to blows before 2 preceding caution flags, and so those 2 are now right together again on the racetrack. James Hodgson, the forward-facing 88, behind them has started to blink a little bit, but Logan Edwards is going to join this party, Caleb. He's up to 7th. He's got Mike Rigney coming, but Logan Edwards is about ready to join this fight as well.
Yeah, Logan Edwards and Mike Rigney are actually the 2 fastest trucks of this group. They are nearly 4/10 of a lap quicker than everybody else. Kendall Paul, last time through, 23.474. Logan Edwards, a 23.258. Mike Rigney, a 23.213. So these guys are actually they saved their stuff quite a bit more than everybody else in front of them. The only trucks that are actually faster on the track at the moment are the leaders of Greg Evans and Ryan O'Donohue. Mike Rigney hard into the turn 4 wall, but able to keep it going straight. And Logan Edwards now looking to the inside of James Hodgson, right behind Sam Crow in that 5th place position.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution flag is out. This will end the stage. It is Say Hey Lewis Hayes around one more time. There's Lewis, as he has gone for a spin down the front straightaway. Caution back out, Say Hey Lewis Hayes, and it's going to be contact with Michael Kirk. Exit at turn number 4. Paul Witt avoids at that time. Lewis Hayes gets it locked down, but he's still going to tap the inside of the inside cement barrier between the racing surface and pit road. He gets it slid back around. The bad news for Say Hey Lewis Hayes, he lost a lap. The good news for Say Hey Lewis Hayes is he's the first truck 1 lap down, so he should be able, theoretically, to get the lucky dog under the next caution, and we know there is going to be at least one more caution. Sean Roberts will get the lucky dog this time. So, what did we learn in stage 1 here, Caleb? As Ryan O'Donohue leads him around behind the pace truck through the end of the first stage. I would assume that that's going to end the stage, Caleb?
Well, basically, Ryan O'Donohue, it just seems like he's, him and Greg Evans seem like they're on another level over everybody else. And even with all those caution laps, it does show how the tires will wear. Even without, how many caution laps we had. I think we had 5 cautions there, each one being 3 to 4 laps each. So I'd say at least I saw a third was underneath, a caution flag of that first stage. So about 40 laps of 1 green flag running, and you saw how Logan Edwards and Mike Rigney were able to save their stuff that early on in the stage, and were just able to get really good pace over everybody else in front of them. So it does show like the tire wear is going to be pretty big here come stage number 2. We get really long green flag runs, and even stage number 3, considering that's even 20 more laps longer. So it's basically going to be, who is able to save their tires the best, as it always is. However, the guys that seem to be doing it better than the rest are kind of quite a few positions down, just inside of the top 10 here.
It is Dylan Grutzmacher, Mike Rigney, David Dunwoody, the final 3 cars in that top 10. Good to see them get stage points out of this. Logan Edwards, he finishes 7th in the stage, but Ryan O'Donohue on for a handy haul of points as he tries to get past Matt Sisler. A good start to his evening. We've got one more lap under the admin box caution before we hit the end of the stage. Ryan O'Donohue will be the winner of Track Racer stage number 1. If you go to trackracer.com and you input the web address, just as I'm going to put it in the chat, you get 5% of your order going to the end of season AMA prize fund. That's trackracer.com, and then just put it in exactly as it is there. 5% of your order goes to the AMA prize pool, and it's going to be Ryan O'Donohue, the winner of Track Racer stage break number 1. And then I assume, Caleb, we are going to see everybody stream down pit road. Excuse me.
Oh, it's going to be a necessity to come down pit road, unless drivers decide that they want to try to save a set of tires for stage number 3. But You're taking a big gamble here, especially at IRP, any sort of short track. You're taking a gamble if you decide not to take tires in stage number 1. But it's a gamble, but it might be worth it in the long run here, Murph.
You know, you'd essentially be banking on a lot of cautions in that second stage, holding the track position. You do not need to pit for fuel really until the end of the second stage. You can go more than 100 laps on a tank of gas in these trucks. As we see Ryan O'Donoghue come down the pit lane, he's got Greg Evans in tow. Say hey, Lewis Hayes is going to take the is going to stay out on the racetrack. We'll see if he elects the wave around or if he's going to come in to the pit lane. But all eyes on Ryan O'Donoghue at the moment.
Yeah, remember in last night's race, Greg Evans, it was him and Matthew White. Greg Evans was actually able to jump Matthew in stage number 1. He is a few more pit boxes back from Ryan O'Donoghue, so we'll see how he is. He is the first one out pit lane. I think his teammate Ryan O'Donoghue able to get the advantage. A little bit further back, Sam Crow gets a massive jump. So does Kendall Paul. Jim Duda drops a little bit further back. James Hodgson and Logan Edwards able to maintain their places. And Matt Wagner was 17th at the end of that stage. He jumps massively up the field. I wonder if he only took right sides only.
7.8 seconds in the box for Matty Wagner, and that tells me that there have been some shenanigans with the tires. David Dunwoody stayed out to lead a lap. He and Ted Craven, along with Chuck Sweeting and Jeremy Dunwoody, have not pitted. Ryan O'Donoghue has actually scored in the 5th spot. There's David Dunwoody. He stayed out on the stage caution. Lewis Hayes also still on the speedway. He has not yet come in. And neither one of those trucks appear to be pitting. So Lewis Hayes going to take the wave around. So too will Keith Graham. They're going to get back on the backside of the lead lap. And the leader coming to green is going to be David Dunwoody. He'll have Ted Craven, Chuck Sweeting, and Jeremy Dunwoody with him. And all of those trucks are on some old tires, Caleb. Dunwoody has not yet stopped in this race. Neither has not yet stopped in this race. Ted Craven, Chuck Sweeting, and Jeremy Dunwoody all did stop, but 40 laps ago.
Yeah, we've seen this out of David Dunwoody quite a few number of times where he won't take tires in stage number 1 and just try to just bank on cautions happening in the 3rd stage, and he can take that fresh set of tires that he didn't take in stage number 1. Of course, we are limited to 3 sets over the wall, so basically end of stage number 1, end of stage number 2, and then 1 in the 3rd. And that's your tire sets here. But David Dunwoody on the worn set of tires is going to lead him back to green here for stage number 2.
The good news for David Dunwoody is he's got other trucks around him that are also on worn tires, although Ted Craven hangs tough. Ryan O'Donoghue hard in the wall.
Sam Crow also involved.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Jim Duda, he's going to be hit by Mike Rigney. What on earth has happened here? Ryan O'Donoghue slams the wall on the front straightaway, and there is most assuredly some red mist behind the helmet of that number 14 machine. Ryan O'Donoghue racing along with Jeremy Dunwoody to his outside. He's got Chug Sweeting dead ahead, and Jeremy Dunwoody just loosens his truck up coming off of turn number 2. They hit. Sam Crow gets tagged. There's Jim Duda, Kendall Paul, Logan Edwards, James Hodgson. They all sneak through, and Mike Rigney just absolutely demolishes Jim Duda. Watch this. Poor Mike Rigney has nowhere to go. We're riding the passenger seat. There's trucks spinning. You just try to hope you shoot the gap. Hope you shoot the gap. There's a truck coming up this track. Hope he stops. Nope. Just a huge impact between the 80 and the 16. David Dunwoody has a black flag. And so all sorts of dramas here as we hit the yellow light. Ted Craven, through all of that, Caleb, is going to be your leader.
How about that? I'm looking into the incident with David Dunwoody on the reason he's got a black flag here. It was a restart violation. I believe he went possibly a little bit too early before the restart zone. So David Dunwoody, he's got a black flag, and he has to serve it under green. So he's going to go a couple laps down. The gamble to not take tires, unfortunately, is not going to go his way, because just taking a drive through here, well, you're already going to be 2 laps down, and you're going to be on a worn set. This day went from possibly very good to David Dunwoody to really, really turning around in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately for David Dunwoody, there are several trucks now 1 lap down, so if he loses a couple, David Dunwoody is going to be out of the fight. Sam Crow has brought his truck to pit lane. He changed tires, didn't get much damage repaired. Sam Crow back out on the racetrack. Ryan O'Donoghue got some repair, as did Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Shane Fleming has been in under the caution flag. Jeremy Dunwoody and Jim Duda also have affected or are affecting repair. Jim Duda and Jeremy Dunwoody remain on pit road, and well, if you're Brian Sharp, that's good news, right? You're going to get a chance to make up some spots. Meanwhile, Ted Craven is going to lead him back to the green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is back out, and Ted, we don't see this very often, Ted Craven is going to lead them here at IRP. A little bit further back, Greg Evans and Kendall Paul are going to go side by side for that 4th place position. You see David Dunwoody go to the pit lane, take his black flag, and now Greg Evans is to the inside of Chuck Sweetie off of turn number 4. Logan Edwards looking to the inside of Kendall Paul, and we got a truck hard into the inside wall.
Right,
now Dylan Grutzmacher is into it. I saw the Dylan Grutzmacher incident, but we've also got other people involved.
Andrew Gates also involved in a separate incident on the front straightaway. Hard into the inside wall for him.
So here's Dylan Grutzmacher. That's off the nose of Justin Osterman. Grutzmacher spins up the track, collects Mike Rigney. That's incident number 1. Incident number 2 is behind that. You've got I take it back. It might be in front of it. Andrew Gates and Keith Graham come together. They touch, and that just shoots Gates hard into the inside wall. He's got the meatball. Mike Rigney with the black flag. That's going to be entering a closed pit for Mike, and that's tough. A tough break. Andrew Gates smoking on the pit lane. I believe that truck is toast. And how about Ted Craven? He's going to get to lead this baby for a little bit longer, Caleb.
He will indeed. This might work out after all with how many caution laps we get. I do want to point out Mike Rigney has retired from the session. So Mike Rigney has decided to park it here at IRP. But I think also Andrew Gates might also be done. He hit out inside wall hard, and I think he might have blown his motor. I'm going to have to double check on that, but his night is basically going to be done, and he's going to be multiple laps down at this point.
There you go. I don't foresee that Andrew Gates truck coming back out on the track. Anytime you see one smoking, that usually means that it's done. David Dunwoody says, I got saved, and that's true. He was serving his penalty when the caution came out, and so that freezes the field. It means that Dunwoody will get to stay on the lead lap here. He did drive through. He did not take service, nor, interestingly enough, Caleb, did he take service under the caution flag. Shane Fleming did so. Sam Crow back on the lead lap. Dylan Grutzmacher has stopped. Ryan O'Donoghue is getting additional service. O'Donoghue is now going to go a lap down, I believe. No, he didn't. He's going to beat him off just barely, Caleb. But Ted Craven, he's still got the lead. Now, he's got Greg Evans to his outside, so that may be short-lived. But right now, the strategy working for Ted Craven, and the question becomes, is this a game of chicken where he's playing poker, saying, now wait a minute here, I don't know when I'm going to stop, he'd like for it to be under yellow. He's got the fuel to end the stage, but he also doesn't need to get run over, and the tires are there. He's got Chuck Sweeting behind him. Sweeting does not have tires. Everybody else behind him, they've got tires, and Ted Craven gets the jump. He slots up in front of Greg Evans. He claims the outside. He's going to race hard for the lead.
He'll race hard for the lead. 1 and 2 going to battle. Greg Evans on the bottom with the pressure tires, able to get Ted Craven in 3-4, but Ted Craven's got the run on the high side. Oh, I thought he did. Hard into the outside wall for Ted Craven. Kendall Paul's going to look up the inside in turn number 1. Ted Craven kind of doing a wall ride at the moment. Right behind him, Chuck Sweetie and Logan Edwards able to go side by side. Chuck Sweetie gets a little bit loose off the corner. Logan's going to have to yield right behind him. And Logan Edwards and James Hodgson trying to get around the two cars that have not taken tires in.
All right, man,
right now, we got another caution out on the speedway. As Say Hey Lewis Hayes.
Lewis Hayes around for the third time tonight. This time it is not on the front stretch as it was the previous two. It's in turn number 3 and Say Hey Lewis Hayes. And I believe that's going to be around Shane Fleming. Lewis Hayes on the top, Fleming on the bottom. And Say Hey Lewis Hayes just maybe a little bit too much rear brake bias. That truck broke loose getting in the corner. Brian Sharp just barely misses him. But Say Hey Lewis Hayes hard into that outside retaining wall, and that's going to bring out the admin box caution one more time. It'll also allow Jeremy Dunwoody to get one of his laps back. So Jeremy Dunwoody will move to 3 laps down now. Meanwhile, it'll also allow additional repair for trucks like Dylan Grutzmacher, Ryan O'Donohue. Shane Fleming is back on pit road, and now Ted Craven has decided I want some tires.
Yeah, he came down pit lane. The second, he lost a couple of positions there. Chuck Sweetie deciding to stay out here in that third place spot. He's going to have Logan Edwards to his outside on the restart, but Chuck Sweeting still committed to that strategy of not taking tires here in stage number 2. I believe David Dunwoody also has stayed out. Yes, he is. So we have 2 more drivers still left on that one strategy here of not taking tires in at some point during stage number 2. And Chuck Sweetie in third. We'll see how he is able to hold on to that third place position, or if he's able to remain even possibly in the top 10. That would be considered excess in my opinion.
Yeah.
If he's able to keep inside the top 10 by the time the stage ends, or even in the top 15, I would consider a massive success for Chuck Sweetie.
Yeah, and look, there are several drivers that are playing this game. Matt Wagner's chimed in. He says that he's still on his old set of tires. David Dunwoody just put in the chat that he is still on his old set as well. And look, Caleb, I mean, why not? I think the thinking goes, let's save a set of tires in case there's a yellow light at the somewhere in that third stage. We've got an extra set and might be able to use that to their advantage late should it come to that. And so, why not? David Dunwoody is in the 13th spot. Matt Wagner 14th. They're going to line up right together. Kendall Paul and Greg Evans, they're on the front row. Greg Evans with the inside starting line. P1 coming to the line. It'll be Greg Evans who will get the restart zone first. He'll be followed by Sweeting, Edwards, Hodgson, and Justin Osterman as we hit the green flag. And Greg Evans out to a nice lead, headed off to turn 1.
A very nice lead indeed there, Murph. And Kendall Paul did not get a good restart, but Chuck Sweetie actually did get a decent restart there. He's going to slot back in that third place position. Logan Edwards behind, looking to the inside. James Hodgson and Justin Osborne, Mr. Excitement, going to go side by side. And look at this, Austin Hunt is already inside the top 10 here. He's been in the back for the majority of this race, started in the 26th spot, and now is looking just outside the top 5 here. He is still yet to win this season. Is he able to finally get that first win this season here tonight? Going side by side with James Hodgson as they go into turn number 1. He's trying to make the outside work. It seems like the outside at the moment is getting a little bit more grippier as we go through the run. And Hodgson getting a little bit loose on exit is going to have to yield to that number 15 truck, and that allows Paul Witt. Paul Witt also being in the back of the field numerous times here tonight, finds himself also inside the top 10 here. So a lot of shuffling of the field here, the more attrition we get here, Murph.
It is. We're going to start a poll for our race fans in the chat. Is a hot dog a sandwich? We're gonna have that debate with Mike Rigney, among others, as we race. Looking in on Austin Hunt, and somebody give a call down to Austin Hunt. He's worked his way up to the 6th spot. Austin Hunt started this race 26th.
Yeah, he's been on a charge in around James Hodgson, getting around Jason Phillips late, basically the entire field. But he's got Paul Witt right behind him, James Hodgson. He's proven to be very, very quick over the course of the race here. So but right now it's fairly single file. It seems like it's very hard to pass, and even to the point where Logan Edwards in that 4th place spot is struggling to get around Chuck Sweeney, and Chuck Sweeney actually in 3rd place on an older set of tires is hunting Kendall Paul for 2nd place at the moment.
You know it is, and to be fair, Chuck Sweeting doing a masterful job. He's had a lot of laps under caution on those tires, and so that may be helping him. Logan Edwards has broken away more or less by himself in 4th place, and there is a battle royale behind him. You've got Austin Hunt working on Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman all the way down on the flat. They've got James Hodgson, and how about Paul Witt? He was around earlier in this race. He's driven that car back up to 8th, or that truck back up to 8th.
He has indeed. Just a couple laps ago, he's been on a charge, you know. So he started in the 7th place spot, Paul Witt. Caution is out on the speedway. And it looked like it was the number 90 of Shane Fleming.
It was Shane Fleming. He's already towed that truck back to pit lane. He's with, he's racing with Say Lewis Hayes, and those two, just like they did before, came together off of turn number 4. Around goes the 90. You see the damage on the front of the 43. That is due to an earlier incident with Shane Fleming, and so Fleming comes up the racetrack. Say Lewis Hayes does not yield, and around goes the number 90. We go back under the admin box caution. We are currently debating, Caleb, with Mike Rigney in the chat over whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich.
I decline to comment. I know it's just going to start. It's going to start a riot in the chat if I do comment on it.
No, please do. You're the expert on P1, the P1 food situation. If you go to the Sim Gaming Expo, you can, in late September 18th to 20th, Schaumburg, Illinois, to be exact, you can meet Caleb Brashear, and you can eat chicken wings with the man himself.
We need to find the chicken wings first. We need to find a place first. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere.
There's got to be a B-dubs or something around there. We can just order.
No, we're getting the fancy stuff, Murph. If we're going, we're getting some nice chicken. None of that B-dubs. Get the B-dubs out of here. We don't want that. Anyways, enough foodie talk. Caution yet again back out on the speedway. Greg Evans leads it. Kendall Paul in 2nd. He had a pretty good tussle with Chuck Sweetie right before that caution came out. Chuck Sweetie on that really worn set of tires, able to make it work. It's kind of a shocking twist to it. If we keep getting more caution laps, we're already halfway through this 2nd stage here. If he's able to hold on, this is really turning out pretty good for Chuck Sweetie in that number 75 machine.
You know it has, and Chuck Sweeting is doing a tremendous job with those old tires. He's had some help from the yellow light, but Chuck Sweeting doing a tremendous job in staying out. You've got, I don't see how they do it. Matt Wagner, David Dunwoody typing in the chat while they're driving. I know it's under the yellow light, but I could never do that. Greg Evans, meanwhile,
I would turn into the wall. You know me, Murph. I would turn into the wall while doing it.
I've turned into the wall under caution, just trying to keep the car straight under caution.
And we've all had those moments. Green flag is back here at IRP. Chuck Sweetie trying to look to the inside of Kendall Paul, but he's going to have to yield. Logan Edwards now on the high side, trying to get around that for that third place spot. Right behind him, Justin Osterman and Mr. Excitement, trying to look around Austin Hunn up the inside. Austin Hunn getting around Justin Osterman. Right behind them, Paul Witt gets around James Hodgson on the high side. It now seems like that top groove is really starting to come into effect as the sun goes down here, Murph.
Sun is starting to set at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Greg Evans leads Kendall Paul. Now Logan Edwards third. He's got through Chuck Sweeting. Austin Hunt has moved to fifth. Justin Osterman sixth. Best battle on the track is back here. James Hodgson tries to slide to the inside of Paul Witt. They're having a disagreement over the second spot. By the way, the pole, and Paul Witt smacks the wall. The poll in the chat, half of you say a hot dog is a sandwich and half of you say it is not. And so this is good. This is good to know everybody's position.
The most riveting of research here in the AMA Truck Series here at IRP. James Hodgson's trying to make that he won't yield that position to Paul Witt. Originally lost that spot, sends it in deep going into turn number 3. Paul Witt still making the outside line work. They're still side by side at the moment. It seems like they've been side by side for about 5 or 6 laps here ever since the restart. And now it looks like James Hodgson, well, nope, it looked like he was going to clear him off the bottom of the corner in turn number 2, but he sends it in deep again. He's getting really good runs in the entry in the middle of the corners, but Paul Witt just able to keep the momentum on the high side and just able to carry more speed on the exit to where he's basically back level by the time they get to the corner exit. This time, however, well, not quite. Again, Paul Witt still able to get, even despite getting a little bit loose, still able to keep a fender on that 88 machine. Justin Osborne going to the bottom for the first time for tonight, and right now he's got James Hodgson. James Hodgson finally able to get around Paul Witt, and now he's looking to go up the inside of that 53 machine. And just behind them, Paul Witt and John Houchins. Paul Witt looked like he was going to get around that 88 machine. Now he has to battle the 72 of John, and they're going to go side by side. James Houchins is going to, or James Hodgson is going to yield to that 53 machine, fall back in line. But Paul Witt, he's going to use that high side line, but you know, the more he's going to battle with people, the more his tires are going to wear out, and possibly he's going to even lose more positions here by the time the stage number 2 comes to the close here.
This is the best battle on the racing surface. It's John Houchins to the inside, Paul Witt to the outside. They are having a time. John Houchins spins, slams the inside retaining wall. He's going to get down the pit access road, and so no caution. But John Houchins hard into the wall. He may get a bit of a break here. He's going to be about 3/4 of a lap down. However, Greg Evans leads this race by 1.2 seconds. Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul, they're going to go after it for second, but he's only got 15 laps or so before the end of the stage as Logan Edwards looks to the inside of Kendall Paul.
Yeah, he goes way to the bottom there in the turn number 1. Kendall making the outside work. Austin Hunt a little bit further back, getting really, really squirrely with the rear end of that number 15 machine. And Chuck Sweetie still on that really worn set of Goodyear rubber, his original set. He's done 105 laps on those things, Murph. Admittedly, a lot of it was under caution, but still able to push those Goodyear tires and be within inside the top 5 is an incredible feat for that 75 machine.
It is a great run for Chuck Sweeting in that 75. There he is. He's got Austin Hunt to his inside. Logan Edwards looking all over Kendall Paul, but Chuck Sweeting, if he can hang on, even if Hunt gets past him, it would be a top 5, and Chuck Sweeting would have saved a set of tires, which could be quite handy later on. Austin Hunt gets past and move Austin Hunt up to 4th. It's worth noting also Sam Crow. There's Sam. He's made his way back to 12th. And Ted Craven with the newer tires. Dylan Grutzmacher, and Sam Crow all stopped under that last yellow. There's Ted Craven. He's moved his way back into 10th.
Yeah, he's moved his way back into 10th. A good top 10, result would be absolutely incredible here for Ted Craven here at IRP. But he's got Sam Crow and Jason Phillips right behind him. Let's see if he's able to hold on for a top 10 position in stage number 2. But right now, the best battle on the track is the second place position between Kendall Paul, Logan Edwards, Austin Hunt. They are all nose to tail here for the second place spot. Going through turns 3 and 4, they're almost three wide. Logan had an inside look to that 78 machine, and it seems like Kendall Paul seems like he's struggling a little bit with his tire grip, but Logan's just not able to get around him. It seems like Logan is absolutely hounding that 78 machine.
Logan Edwards is. He actually gets into him going into turn number 3. That'll loosen up Kendall Paul a little bit, but Kendall, unfazed, he continues to run along in that second spot. And all this is doing is allowing Greg Evans to continue to check out. He's built that advantage to 1.6 seconds as Austin Hunt looks to the bottom of Logan Edwards in turn number 2, but he can't quite get it done.
But Logan Edwards sends it deep on the bottom there, on the flat part of the circuit. Gets a little bit loose on exit to the inside of turn number 1. Still has got a fender on him now. Fully alongside Kendall on the exit corner. Logan Edwards really sending it deep here.
I think he realizes the end of the stage is up. He'd like to have that second spot, and he knows that Kendall Paul is his nearest pursuer in the championship. But Kendall Paul has a superior run on the outside, and here comes Austin Hunt. He's going to flash to the outside of the number 9. Austin Hunt is looking for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, but he's got Kendall right in front of him, and Austin Hunt able to get the position quite easily over Logan Edwards, just using that high side line. And that's all Kendall is doing. He's just kind of riding the middle to high and forcing everybody down low that's attacking him. And he's just able to carry more speed than everybody else off the exit of the corner. Let's see if Austin Hunt is able to get around him. He's made a couple of bottom lane passes so far. Let's see if he's able to do it again for the second place spot.
Let's see indeed. Austin Hunt rallies to the bottom of Kendall Paul. He's going to have 6 laps to do it this time by. We'll start lap 115 for these leaders. Remember, we're going to have a second stage break at lap number 120. At the completion of lap 120, Austin Hunt all over the rear end of the Outland Custom Arms machine of Kendall Paul. Can Austin Hunt go from 26th to 2nd at the stage break?
He might indeed, but he's kind of lost a little bit of time there to Kendall last time around. Kendall Paul 23.283, Austin Hunt 23.391, about a 10.5 slower than that 78 machine. And Logan Edwards, he's closed back up on that 15, as well as Mr. Excitement, Justin Osborne, Chuck Sweetie on that older set of tires. James Hodgson, he's also reintroduced himself into the picture. Dylan Grutzbacher is also in the background there. So is Paul Witt. So right now, it's an incredible battle for second, while Greg Edmonds has completely checked out over the rest of the field here.
Yes, he has. Can Austin Hunt make up one more spot? He would go. He's already made up 23 in this race. Can he get 24? Kendall Paul slides the rear of that truck, getting into turn number 1, and that's going to let Austin Hunt drive it all the way down on the flat, get alongside in turn 2, but he can't get the momentum enough to make that move. I think if he's going to get by Kendall Paul, he's going to need Caleb to get to the outside, but here comes Logan Edwards to the outside of Austin Hunt.
Logan Edwards using the high side line. He's only got about a lap and a half at this point to make it work. Austin Hunt shuts the door on that number 9 machine. Logan trying to send it really deep in that 3rd lane. Mr. Excitement on the bottom there, on the apron, actually.
He was in the grass earlier, Caleb. He went through the grass going down into turn 3 earlier. I mean, Osterman has that truck really low, but you can see how loose that's making him as Austin Hunt continues to hound Kendall Paul, but I don't think he's going to get there, and I don't think Logan is going to get there for third either. It's going to be status quo as they flash under Barney to start lap 121, and now we await Sam Crow across the start-finish line. It's going to be a second. Remember,
All right, man, caution is out. Caution
these
is
passes
out.
count until the yellow light winks on, but it is out now. The admin box caution has restored some order, and that is the end of stage break number 2. Stage break number 2 is brought to you by Blackmagic Studios. They are a small operation dedicated to high quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high quality iRacing paint when you see me drive on P1. Usually on Sunday nights in the Votive and Dark Horse series. It is behind the wheel of a Blackmagic Studios wrapped IR18. We got a big one coming up. Caleb. This Sunday, it's Indy Derby 5. I tried to add up the purse money for that thing, but I can't add that high, my man.
Yeah, you ran out of fingers. I guarantee it.
I don't know if it's $1,000 total, but it's pretty doggone close. It's $400 to win that race, and it has drawn a who's who of who's from the IndyCar community on iRacing. You do not want to miss that one. 8 o'clock Sunday night, right here on P1 for Votive Indy Derby 5. You'll get to see Caleb Brashear try to take his first Derby. You're going to get to see me try not to look silly as Greg Evans drives his truck down the pit lane.
Greg Evans leads it this time around, and he was actually second in stage number 1 coming to the pit lane. Ryan O'Donohue was actually in first, and O'Donohue is on a bit of a comeback at the moment, so we'll see how he is. They go into their pit boxes now. Right side tires go up on that number 2 machine. There you see Ryan O'Donohue. He pulls into his box on that pole position there, and he's still got quite a bit of damage. And there's quite a few number of drivers. I believe that is the 33 is Sean Roberts. He had a massive jump on the field. Kendall Paul in third, Austin Hunt in fourth, and Logan Edwards in fifth. Off of pit lane, James Houchin, Chuck Sweeting, Dylan Grutzmacher, Paul Witt. What I don't see is Justin Osterman here.
That's because Justin Osterman stayed out. He is leading.
He did stay out.
Yeah, he's leading this race. Osterman stayed out. David Dunwoody stayed out under the initial caution, but then he comes to pit lane now. Sean Roberts, the time on pit lane for him suggests he just drove through, did not stop in the box, and indeed he's come back this time for service and shows Sean Roberts back on the pit lane. It's going to be Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, starting stage number 3 with position number 1, and he is going to be pursued by a pack of hungry drivers with fresh tires trying to get around him. We're going to end the poll. We have not agreed as a community, Caleb. Half of you say that the hot dog is a sandwich, and half of you say it is not. So we will continue to ponder such weighty matters during the AMA this season, but we have not solved whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich, Caleb.
A debate for one of time there, Murph. All of time.
It will rage into perpetuity. Now, Mike Rigney's contention is that a hot dog cannot be a sandwich because the bun is connected. It's one piece of bread. But then, what about a quesadilla? Is that a sandwich? It's 2 pieces of bread, right? So we'll continue to think about these things.
We will continue to think about it. Maybe we will continue to think about it. Whether or not we actually want to share those opinions, I don't know.
I think you should share your opinion. I think you should share your opinion, Caleb.
I've seen the internet before, Murph. I don't want to go down that route.
The most viewed P1 broadcast of all time becomes Murph. and Caleb arguing about whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not. Meanwhile, there is racing to be done. Justin Osterman's going to lead him back to the green flag on 65 lap old tires, Caleb. He's going to have Greg Evans is outside. Kendall Paul and Austin Hunt lined up in row 2. Away we go. And already there's a big wreck. There's a big wreck on the front stretch. Greg Evans is going to get the black flag here. I think he led at the restart zone. Meanwhile, there was a big mess coming down the front stretch. James Hodgson involved, and that all starts with Kendall Paul and Logan Edwards. We need to get in the blimp to see all this. We'll deal with Bridget and her contention that a tortilla is not bread here in a moment. Justin Osterman spins the tires. That stocks up Kendall Paul. He gets hit by Logan Edwards, who then gets hit by Chuck Sweeting, and from there it all breaks loose, Caleb. Hodgson goes around. Logan Edwards gets stalled out. Multiple trucks stop on the racing surface. And we also need to go back and check out the start for Greg Evans, because he's been given provisionally a black flag here. And normally when that happens, that's because the second place truck was ahead in the restart zone. So take note, on the right-hand side up against the wall, we're going to hide the scoring pylon. You're going to see the restart zone marked in orange right there on the wall. Was Greg Evans ahead, or did he accelerate first?
Well, I think within the definitions, I just don't think Osterman actually went.
No, but you still can't pass him before that line, and that's what they're going to get Greg Evans for. And he is gone through pit road, and he will have to serve perhaps a penalty, or perhaps they will waive it, or they can reduce that to tail end of the longest line. Either way, Greg Evans has come in and got tires. So be interesting to see what happens with Greg Evans. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards and Ryan O'Donoghue, two contenders early, they've come to pit road for additional repair, and all this is done has left Justin Osterman in the lead, and now Austin Hunt is second.
Austin Hunt going to lead that outside line. Justin Osterman on the inside. They go green this time by no stack ups this time, but Austin Hunt's got the high side line. He has yet to win this season here in the AMA Truck Series. He's got Paul Witt right behind him. He's had a couple wins already here this season. Paul Witt's last win, actually no, he has not won this season, my mistake. Austin Hunt also not winning so far this season, and they got Kendall Paul, Justin Osterman right behind them. Kendall sends it to the bottom there on that 53 machine. Chuck Sweetie also looking to that very bottom there, and Sam Crow on the high side trying to get around the 75 machine and trying to follow Osterman in that third lane.
Greg Evans is taking his drive-through. He will exit to pit lane about 2 seconds in front of this group. Greg Evans does not go a lap down, and we know he's got the speed to maintain that. Meanwhile, the slide for Justin Osterman continues. He's now back to fifth place behind Chuck Sweeting, and he's got Sam Crow along with Jason Phillips right behind him, and Matt Wagner has entered the picture. Wags is now 8th, Ted Craven 9th. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, after his trials and tribulations today, I think that 43 has been around at least thrice. Say Lewis Hayes has worked his way back up to 11th. He's just gotten passed by David Dunwoody. He's battling with David Dunwoody for that 10th spot. There's Lewis Hayes. but great work from Lewis to survive in advance. He's back up in the 11th spot as Dunwoody makes the move to get to 10th.
Dunwoody having that extra set of tires here is going to play a really good factor if we get a few more cautions in the stage. David Dunwoody doing what he does best, running that apron line there. But right now, we're looking on board with the Austin Hunn and Paul Witt battle for the lead. Neither driver has won yet this season. This could be possibly win number 1 for both these drivers.
You know, it quite possibly could be. Austin Hund is your leader. He goes up to the high side of the speedway. Paul Witt cuts it right down to the bottom next to the yellow line. On board, Paul Witt as he looks at the 4D Raceway television panel on the back of Austin Hund's Chevrolet Silverado. The truck up ahead of them is Greg Evans. He is still on the lead lap after the drive-through penalty, but Evans is in some trouble. He is quicker. He is notably quicker by about 0.2 of a second over Hund and Witt. His problem for Evans, he's nearly a lap down.
Yeah, he is. I do want to point out the battle between Justin Osterman, Matt Wagner, Dylan Grutzbacher. They go 3 wide into turn number 3. And David Dunwoody threw a massive slide job on Osterman going through turn number 1 last time around. And right now, he's lost a couple of positions. The number 69 gets around them. So is Matt Wagner. He's able to possibly clear off the bottom of the corner, and he does. And Osberg's going to try to do the cutback in turn number 3, but thinks better of it.
I don't think he thought better of it, Caleb. I just don't think he has the grit to do it. Osterman Osterman flashed as if he was going to make the full send, and then he ran out of grip. The truck did not turn. He had to slam on the brakes. Ted Craven smacks the outside wall, and now Osterman has fallen into the clutches of Say Hey Lewis Hayes and James Hodgson down to 11th, and Lewis Hayes bidding to make it 12th here. And again, give a call down to Say Hey Lewis Hayes. That truck is pretty severely damaged on the right side. He's given it a pretty good ride up near the top 10.
He is indeed, and you know, he's a bit of a comeback story. He's been in so many incidents already. You know, he's been in a number of cautions, and for him to be battling within the top 10 is very impressive. He's got that 43 machine's got James Hodgson right now, who's also been at the front of the field for the majority of the night, but he's got a bit of front end damage on that 88, so we'll see how he is able to progress forward. Meanwhile, we're watching Chuck Sweetie, Kendall Paul, Sam Crow, and that number 8 machine all navigate turn number 3 and in battle for basically the last step of the podium here, Murph.
It is. Chuck Sweeting made the call to stay out on old tires. He survived the carnage. He stayed up at the front. He came and got new tires with everybody else 22 laps ago, and he's been able to maintain that position. Chuck Sweeting hunting his first win here in the AMA, all over the back of Kendall Paul. He'd love to have a podium. Meanwhile, Austin Hunt and Paul Witt have checked out from this group. Paul Witt is about a second up the road from Kendall Paul. Austin Hunt a half a second in front of Paul Witt.
They are indeed. Paul Witt, you can kind of see is riding a little bit lower line than Austin Hunt, kind of riding right on that groove there. However, Austin is able to just kind of ride the wall and then cut down hard on the exit corner and carry as much speed as possible. The third place battle kind of, it's kind of separated just a little bit. They've gotten a little bit more spread out. Right when I say that, Sam Crow has a peek to the inside going through the middle of the corner, but Chuck Sweetie able to get a better run off of turn number 2 and just able to keep the momentum going forward. It seems like Sam Crow is able to get a better entry in middle part, but Chuck Sweetie just able to run that third lane, just able to carry more speed on the exit of these corners. And that's really all you have to do, especially in the nighttime stages here at IRP. You just kind of had to defend the high side and just carry more speed on the exit. As long as he doesn't get alongside you, you should be good going down the straightaways, and that's all Kendall Paul and Chuck Sweetie are doing against Sam Crow. Right behind them, though, for the battle just outside of the top 5. David Dunwoody, Jason Phillips, and Dylan Grutzmacher are all going at it. A big slide for Grutzmacher coming off turn number 4. I caught just a glimpse of it, and he is actually able to get around Jason Phillips for that 7th place spot. So David Dunwoody on a bit of a charge. He's got an extra set of tires over the wall and sits in that 6th place spot. Dylan Grutzmacher, he's been in a couple incidents already, but right now sits in 7th on a charge forward. And Jason Phillips, we really haven't talked about the number 20 driver all that much tonight. He's had a bit of a quiet night, but finds himself in 8th. A good drive for him. And then the rest of the top 10, Matt Wagner and Justin Osman, who is also having a tense battle with Ted Craven and James Hodgson.
Yeah, there's Osterman, and he is he's fallen back to this battle. Ted Craven has been passed by James Hodgson, so Hodgson moves up to 11th, and he'll go to work on the 53 machine. But these guys need to get going. They're about half a lap down to your leaders, Austin Hunt and Paul Witt. Now here's the thing, pretty much all the trucks back in this area, Hodgson, Craven, Logan Edwards is back here. He makes the move on Ted Craven, or tries to. There goes Logan. Pretty much all of these trucks at some point in this train, pretty much all of them have been involved in contact.
They have at some point, as you said, and just we had a very chaotic first half of the race here. It's kind of mellowed out at the beginning of stage number 3. We've gotten our first long green flag run, and you can see how much that's just spread out the field. Meanwhile, back into the battle for the top 5 position, it looked like Chuck Sweetie had a bit of a run on Kendall Paul. Now he's yielding to Sam Crow, and right now Paul Witt has lost quite a bit of time to Austin Hunt for that battle for the top step here.
That's the thing, and that's the thing about it, Caleb. Here at IRP, and Kendall Paul is going to make a dive on Paul Witt down into turn number 1. Kendall Paul looking to see if he can't grab that 2nd spot. Not quite clear. He almost made it and then realized he wasn't going to get clear and stood on the brakes. You can get a run going, but if you have to abandon that run, it'll kill your momentum, and especially if you're on the bottom, you can lose positions. You can lose positions when you back out of that run just as easy as you can gain them.
You can see Kendall right there. Sends it really, really deep. He allows Paul Witt to still have a 3rd lane to the outside, but he's able to clear him off the exit of the corner. Paul Witt trying to come back at him. And now Sam Crow, he has gone around Chuck Sweetie in the background of all this, and now he looks like he's going to fight for the final step of the podium here. I got to think that the tires on that 29 machine are starting to fade quite a bit here, Murph. Sam Crow still trying to look up the inside of the 29 machine, and the tires have got to be gone on that thing. They've got to be suffering quite a bit. And right now, Sam Crow, he's got the run going down the back straightaway, and I guarantee you probably this time around, he'll probably clear Paul Witt. Well, not quite. Not quite able to clear it. Yes, he does this time, and now he's got Chuck Sweetie in his rearview mirror for Paul Witt. Chuck Sweeney thinks better of it going this time around, and Sam Crow has already separated himself quite a bit from that 29 machine.
Yeah, Sam Crow's he was involved in that incident earlier. He's got 40 laps to go now. He's very quietly and methodically worked his way back up into that 3rd spot. I wonder, there are 2 questions on my mind. The first is if Greg Evans can get back on the lead lap. He's now started to catch trucks for positions, and here's Greg Evans. He's worked past John Houchins. He's going to go to work on Sahi Lewis Hayes. He's actually gained 3 seconds on Austin Hunt since he came back out of the pit lane after serving that yellow. Lewis Hazel let him go. Lewis Hazel let him go. So Greg Evans now back up to the 16th spot. Next up would be teammate Ryan O'Donoghue, who is damaged, and you see O'Donoghue just ahead. Ted Craven smacks the wall near O'Donoghue. do have a battle for position in the back part of the top 10, though. Matt Wagner and Jason Phillips are going to go after it. This is for the 8th spot.
Wags was able to clear Jason Phillips going across the front straightaway, and now kind of pulls away just a little bit in that Crown Royal sponsor machine. Absolutely fantastic drink, by the way. He pulls away from that number 20 machine. And then you got James Hodgson. James Hodgson is actually the fastest truck out of the 3 here. Well, he equaled Wags' time, but see, Jason Phillips seems to have dropped massively off the pace, nearly 4/10 slower than Matt Wags last time around, and James Hodgson was able to equal Wags' time, so it's only a matter of time, and James Hodgson goes to the bottom there, able to get alongside on the exit of the corner, and I guarantee he'll probably get him on the exit of turn number 2 here, and he does it before they even get to the apex here. James Hodgson at 88 up into the 9th place spot.
It is Caleb. It is Jason Phillips. Will not dispose of Matt Wagner. As a matter of fact, he's now fallen back to the 10th spot behind James Hodgson, and Justin Osterman will have a look. Logan Edwards is coming as well. Logan Edwards is on the freshest tires of the bunch. He stopped under the same yellow as Greg Evans did. Evans has now moved into 14th, but he's some 5 seconds behind this battle, and every position is important for Logan Edwards. The points leader, currently mired in the 12th spot. He would love to get past Jason Phillips, Justin Osterman, among others, and just try to claw back some of the points. Kendall Paul runs second. Austin Hund is leading. Both of those machines are fighting with Logan Edwards for the lead in the championship, and so Logan, he needs to get going too.
Yeah, he does. Thankfully, he's got a just shy of a 40-point buffer over Kendall Paul, who is second in the championship, and then Matt Sizzler and Ryan O'Donohue have both had they're basically had an incident that either put him at the back of the field or took him out of the race in Matt Sizzler's case. And then Austin Hunn, thankfully in that 5th place spot, he has an 88-point gap over him. So he won't lose too much out on the 15, but it's obviously still a blunder for him because, well, he was fighting inside the top 5 at the beginning of stage number 3 here. And with that incident on the restart, he's going to have to regain as much time as possible, and he's slotted back behind Mr. Excitement at the moment in that 53 machine.
He is. We're watching Logan Edwards as he continues to chase down Justin Osterman. Edwards has now moved into the 11th spot. If he can get past Osterman, he'll crack the top 10. This is the best fight on the racetrack. At the moment, I've got my eye on Matt Wagner and David Dunwoody. Wags has pulled up to the back of the 28. Wagner's going to turn it to the left. He'll see if he can't get by David Dunwoody. This is the battle for 7th position.
Yeah, it seems like David Dunwoody has fallen a bit quite off the base, possibly cooked his tires with just under 30 laps to go here. I do want to point out that Paul Witt has also lost the position to Dylan Grutzmacher for the top 5, but Matt Wagner, able to set sail off in the distance, was 0.3 of a lap quicker than David Dunwoody last time around, and James Hodgson was actually 0.3 of a lap faster than Matt Wagner, so a bit of a comeback for James Hodgson, and he is actually one of the fastest trucks on the circuit right now, besides the top 6.
James Hodgson last time through 23.788. Austin Hunt 23.358. Hund 0.2 quicker than Kendall Paul and Sam Crow. Chuck Sweeting, they're all running about the same speed. The quickest of the top 5 is actually this man, Dylan Grutzmacher. Although the top 5 is in traffic, and so that is playing with the lap times a little bit. Grutzmacher going to dive to the inside of the lap truck of Lewis Hayes. Hayes is in the 18th spot, but you're right. I mean, and there are battles all over this track. As we look at James Hodgson, he's going to have a look on Matt Wagner here. Not close enough to make that inside line work, but he's going to give it a go, Caleb.
He is, and Sean Roberts able to actually also get around Justin Osman. Osman 2 laps ago, lost a position to Logan Edwards, and they made a little bit of contact as they went side by side. But Logan, he looks like he's pulled quite a bit away from that 53 machine, and that 53 seems to have fallen off the pace. Possibly he's also killed his tires as well. And Logan Edwards has gotten himself back inside the top 10 here, which is, basically turned from what was a good day into a bad day, back into a decent day for that number 9 machine. And right now, he's actually faster than both Matt Wagner and James Hodgson.
They are. James Hodgson continues to work on Matt Wagner, but Logan Edwards is definitely coming. You're watching 7th place Matt Wagner, 8th James Hodgson, 9th place is Logan Edwards, and Edwards is definitely coming. He chopped another 2/10 off that last time through, and you see that number 9 Team I5G machine start to creep into the picture, Caleb, on James Hodgson and Matt Wagner.
Yeah, James trying to get a really good run, cutting it down hard on the exit of the corners, enter in high. You can see there, entering into the middle of the corner, Logan Edwards all over the rear bumper. Logan's kind of doing the same thing. He's cutting it down really, really hard on exit. James gets a little bit too throttle happy on the exit of turn number 4. Tries to make the outside work, and they cut it down hard. Once again, Logan is getting really good runs on the exit of the corners. He had to look, thought better of it. Right now, Logan Edwards on the charge back up towards the front here.
He is, and there's another battle about ready to happen, and that is Greg Evans is about to catch Justin Osterman. Now, if you recall, the reason that Evans is in this position is because Osterman spun the tires on a restart. Evans given the black flag for being ahead of Osterman in the restart box. Evans got the drive-through penalty. He came back out. He has gained some 5 seconds on the leaders, but just by virtue of being nearly a lap down, he's in a situation where he's not going to be fighting for the win unless something else happens. Justin Osterman has still not pitted. He's been out for 120 laps on his tires. Greg Evans, well, his are half that age, and there's some 10 laps newer than everybody else on the lead lap. It's only a matter of time before Greg Evans finds Justin Osterman and David Dunwoody. He has found them, and now he's put them 3 wide.
Yeah, David Dunwoody trying to hold on to the outside there. He's gonna have to yield a bit of ascent from Greg there on the bottom. That 53 holding in the middle. David Dunwoody backs out of it, and he loses the spot to Greg Evans. Dunwoody actually hits the wall there in turn number 4. Greg Evans now shoots to the inside of that 53 machine, but not able to quite get the run going down the straightaways. He should have the run now, and yes, he does.
Whoa!
He gets no caution though. Oh,
and now
boy.
we've got some extracurricular activity, and we're going to get away from that. I cannot say that I blame Greg Evans. I can't say that I blame Greg Evans for his displeasure there, Caleb. Justin Osterman had lost the position, and well, I think the pictures speak for themselves, Caleb.
It quite does. You don't really want to see that in these type of races, but you can understand Greg Evans' frustration there.
You can, and look, we're not going to condone retaliating or intentional behavior or anything like that, but you can understand why he'd be upset. Meanwhile, we've got a battle brewing for the lead. Austin Hunt has the lead, but Kendall Paul has reeled him in, and by reeled him in, I mean that lead was once 2 seconds. It's now down to 5 car lengths. Kendall Paul has arrived at the back of Austin Hunt. Can Austin Hunt hold him off for 13 laps? That's the question. Kendall Paul has made a race out of this for the top spot, Caleb.
He has, and Kendall Paul, he's already has 2 wins on the season. He won at Michigan and he's also won at Texas, two kind of bigger tracks. He's not really done too well on the short track so far. This would be an absolutely incredible result for him if he's able to maintain the position, and if he's able to get a win out of it, that'd be even greater, because right now this would be a massive points haul over Logan Edwards for him. Even if he finishes second, it would be as well. Or he knows he wants that top step of the podium. It felt like it felt like he hasn't had too many good runs on short tracks recently, and he's been inside the top 10, but he hasn't had those absolutely amazing races where we see him, like at Michigan in the Truck Series, or even at Texas earlier in the season. We really haven't seen that too much out of him at any sort of short track. If he's able to pull it off here, that'd be incredible for him tonight.
He is. Austin Hunt now works back toward the back straightaway. He's pulled that lead back out a little bit now. You got to wonder if maybe he was saving some tire for a rainy day, because Kendall Paul cut it down to 0.3 of a second. Austin Hunt rapidly doubled that and continues to pull away about half a tenth lap over lap on the 78 truck of Kendall Paul. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards has moved back up. We can report has moved back up to the 7th spot. And those trucks now, right, pretty much all the positions are undisputed, with the exception of the Wagner-Hodgson-Roberts trio. They're still in contact with one another. Ryan O'Donoghue critically just made up a spot on Justin Osterman, and so O'Donoghue racing with Osterman now. I don't know that we'll go show that, but those two are swinging back and forth. David Dunwoody is going to go a lap down here to Austin Hunt, and critically, that's going to slow Hunt up just a little bit. Kendall Paul might get back toward the rear of the 15.
He will indeed, but he sends it on David Dunwoody. David Dunwoody getting out of the way of Kendall there. I think it's a little bit too far back at the moment, unless Austin Hunt gets held up possibly by, say, Lewis Hayes in the lap truck here. Lewis Hayes with a heavily damaged 43. But Kendall Paul, you can see in the background there, also struggling for any sort of grip here at IRP. He tagged the wall coming off turn number 2. And right now, these trucks are very battle scarred. They're very worn out. And these guys just want to try to get to the end here with 5 laps to go here at IRP.
It is Austin Hunt now pulls up on the back of Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Hayes going to turn his truck to the left, let Austin Hunt have the racing groove. 4 laps to go. Just a hair over 2 miles to decide it, and I don't think Kendall Paul is anywhere close, Caleb.
Yeah, he's a little bit too far back. He's basically relying on a mistake from Austin Hunt, or possibly a very, very late caution at this point to restack the field. And right now, we're a little bit too far spread out for that. So Austin Hunt, again, we said it before, he hasn't won yet this season. This would be a good tone going into the chase here for the Truck Series if he's able to get a win here at IRP. It feels quite spread out at the moment. O'Donoghue going side by side with John Houchins, but that's pretty much it. Actually, Houchins is a lap down. Well, I believe that's actually for position. It is for position. O'Donoghue and Houchins are going to go side by side. Despite being a lap down, they're right in front of Logan Edwards. But white flag is out here at IRP. Austin Hunt. Kendall Paul did close that gap just a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. That 15 machine, he's had a lot of good races here, has still yet to win here in the Truck Series here in AMA. He comes off turn number 4, and he is going to win here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Austin Hunt, your winner. Kendall Paul comes home second. And very quietly, very methodically, Sam Crow will bring it home in the third spot. The fireworks going off in the background for Austin Hund. He is going to be your winner. And we've got the Rogue Energy winning moments. If you go to rogueenergy.com, you use promo code AMA24, you get 10% off of your order. Again, rogueenergy.com, use promo code AMA24 to get 10% off your order. That's rogueenergy.com, AMA24. Austin Hund burns him down to celebrate his first win in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. And so the tale is told. Austin Hund is your winner. He's going to best Kendall Paul for the win. Sam Crow will bring it home third. Chuck Sweeting, Dylan Gritzmacher round out your top 5. And how about Paul Witt, Logan Edwards, Matt Wagner, Sean Roberts, James Hodgson, the remainder of your top 10. In 11th, it is David Dunwoody, then Jason Phillips. John Houchins, Ryan O'Donohue soldiers home 14th after leading early on in this one. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, 15th. He also saw a good run into the concrete. Ted Craven, 15th, by the way. Jeremy Dunwoody, 17th. Justin Osterman, 18th. Brian Sharp, 19th. Greg Evans out of the race. First car out in 20th. 21st, Michael Kirk, then Keith Graham, Shane Fleming, Mike Rigney, Andrew Gates, Jim Duda, and an early pedestrian. Last and 27th is Matt Sisler. All right, let's get on and see what we've got in the interview room.
I do see a Sam Crow.
We have a Sam Crow sighting?
They couldn't pick, so.
We've got a Sam Crow sighting. We've got a Sam Crow in the booth. Sam, you've got Murph. You've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I appreciate the opportunity to be in here.
We appreciate watching you race tonight. You had your, just like everybody else, you come to a short track, you have your trials, you have your tribulations, you bend the sheet metal, you got yours unbent, and you came back to the podium. What was it like trying to drive that thing back through the field?
Oh heavens! I felt like Egypt. Every plague has been on me the last few weeks, and it's been some kind of journey. I felt like I had a good truck tonight, and then of course got caught up in a mishap on a restart. So just trying to work our way back. In fact, the crew, though it said the optional damage was repaired, it kept saying every time I pitted after that, it said we can't repair all the damage. So there was still damage to the truck, which really was not giving me the bite off that I needed, and so I was having to alter my lines a lot and mess with the brake bias just as much as I could. I just didn't. I was rolling better through the center, but I really could not get the bite off to make a healthy pass on Kendall or make a bid for Austin. Those guys did a great job.
Caleb, what do you have for Mr. Sam this evening?
Well, you talked about, it seemed like you've had a couple rough races and you're able to get back on the podium here tonight. And it seemed like it was going to be like another one earlier on, talk about, how it feels to get back on the podium, and hopefully as we go into the chase, how that's going to set the momentum forward for the last couple of races of the regular season before we get this chase started.
Well, that's a great question, Caleb. I appreciate you asking. I realize how difficult it is to really get on a podium position in this league. There are some great drivers, and I hate my DVD teammates had such a difficult night with Greg and Ryan running into some issues. Lewis had some issues. Mike Rigney was also he was in our room, and he got caught into some things. I hate that they had a terrible night. I'm very honored to be in any podium position in a race like this. I'm honored to get it. Because it's just so hard to come by. I know that other guys on the team and many of the drivers in the league would love to have an opportunity to be on the podium and come in here. and talk to you guys, recognize their sponsors, and just have a moment to talk on the broadcast. So when you're doing this hobby, and you're involved in an online broadcast race like this, it really is a pinnacle and a highlight for your racing if you can get in and get these interviews. It seems it may seem juvenile to some people, but to guys that take the time to practice and really work on their racecraft, it really is like a gold star for drivers and iRacing in these instances where leagues that are broadcasting their races, you can get in and do that. It's very difficult to do it here, and like you said, I have had a rash of just being snake bit the last couple of weeks, and I told the guys, the week before, I made it to lap 50, and then the next week I made it to lap 69, and then last week I got into trouble on lap 8, and so it just seemed like I could not catch any breaks until tonight. And then when we got into that restart problem, then I thought, here we go again. But the truck was still somewhat drivable, and I was able to make some passes. And then I hate benefiting from other guys' misfortune, but sometimes that goes along with the territory.
Well, Sam, you bring it home third. You managed to dodge the calamity, and so congratulations on the podium. As always, you make it to the booth. You get to shout them out, my friends, family, sponsors. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. So much to say. I do want to congratulate Austin and Kendall. I enjoy racing with those two. Austin was due for a win. He's just such a clean and great racer. And so congratulations to him on the win, Kendall on the second place finish. And I wish I'd been able to give them a little bit more competition in the end. So congratulations to those two guys. I do want to give a shout out to my teammates. Even in spite of all the difficulties they had tonight, we were still trying to be encouraging to one another. And it's just good to have a great group of guys around you that do that and edify you when you feel like you're not having a good night. So I know they'll come back strong in the next event, and I really appreciate them. Of course, I want to thank Black Acid Racing Apparel, who's the sponsor on my Thursday night car in the Outland Arms series. And shout out to Randy, we miss you. But also tonight, I want to give a little bit of recognition to my sponsor in the truck series, which is Cured by Cookies. And if you want to taste some of the best cookies you've ever had in your life, and Mark, I already know your wife cooks great cookies, but I'm telling you, these cookies, just look them up online, Cured by Cookies, and your life will be changed by cookies. And so just give those folks a look up. Also, Archway Industrial Coatings for putting on the series. Kendall does a great job. There was a lot of chatter in race tonight, and Kendall shut it down really quick. And so just shout out to he and the administrative team here and what they do. And I don't want to miss an opportunity also just to shout to my great brother, Charles Van Varelis, who is watching every one of these races. I know he's watching tonight. Charles, I love you. We miss John, and all these races that we race in memory of John, and just to keep his memory alive in us and in racing. And so, it's in honor of him that we're able to say these things in the booth. And of course, I'd be amiss not to say, Mark and Caleb, you two guys are so appreciated in what you do. I've been in the booth. I know what goes on to make it happen, and you guys are the best. I appreciate you and P1 Broadcasting.
We appreciate you too, and definitely appreciate your being here, Sam. It's always good to see you on the podium. It's always good to see you.
I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. I really am.
It's good to see you running up front where you deserve to be. Keep going fast. Having fun, buddy.
That's much appreciated, guys.
Absolutely. That's Sam Crow. He runs on the bottom step today. He'll get the bronze medal. For the silver, we move on to Kendall Paul. All of the things that are going to need to be sorted out after this race, notwithstanding, from an admin standpoint, you look pretty doggone fast in the truck. The back end of it looks like it's caved in, but other than that, man, she's pretty clean. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, it was eventful, I guess. A little too eventful for my liking, and admin-wise and racing-wise, I've never had a back-to-back night of just eventful on both fronts. That was interesting, but yeah, I qualified 6th, and I thought we had okay speed and was going to get at least a top 10 on the night, and just kind of let the chaos happen in front of me and kind of tested out some things in stage 1 and found out what worked, what didn't work, and what lines to run, and adjusted the way how I ran stage 2, and then the same thing, found out some things stage 2 and everything. I don't know when it was, because all the cautions have just absolutely just merged to me now. But there's one of the yellows that has the wreck on the back straightaway. I have no flipping idea how I got through that. That was wild.
Now it was you had a huge amount of space. I think you missed it by 6 inches on each side.
Oh my god. I had to go back and look at it because it felt tight, because I just saw smoke and trucks and pieces flying all over. I was like, I don't like this. I don't want to be here.
I think I'll turn away from the chaos. But you did that, and sometimes that's what you need to do on a short track to get a good finish. You do come home second. For the intelligent questions of the evening, I turn you over to my good friend and fellow American, Caleb Brashear. Caleb, take it away.
Well, let's talk about a bit of the championship, because this was actually a good points haul for you in the championship. Obviously, Logan's leading the championship, but 7th place finish wasn't the most ideal situation for him. And then really Sizzler and O'Donoghue not having good nights as well. Does that really set the tone, a good tone going into, the last couple of races going into the chase?
Oh yeah, 100%, and that's the thing that I've been really focusing on, and that's what I've been kind of sort of preaching to the team as well, because there's a few points battles that James and John have to defeat, and Ted as well, and just make thinking big picture and get as many points as you possibly can, and set yourself up for a good chase, because you're going to want to be as far up the leaderboard as possible once the chase comes, because it's going to be tough. I think we got 10 races in the chase or whatever, and there are a lot of things can happen, but the more point cushion you can get, the better. And we lost a point lead there in the back-to-back road course portion, which I kind of saw coming, and a few things on my part that I should have done better, and earlier races and that sort of thing. And but yeah, we cut down, I think, 11 points to the point lead, and then put a very comfortable gap behind us of 34 to Sizzler with his incident tonight. So relative to everybody else, a really, really good point sign. I mean, a win would have been nice to boost it a little bit more, because I think we would have been down 11 to the point lead, and we go into Richmond and New Hampshire. I believe those are the final 2 before the chase, and we've had some really good track history there, and especially at New Hampshire, and can't wait for that. And I think we go on a little bit of break. Yeah, we go on a 2-week break, so get some practice in for Richmond, and make sure we're dialed in for Richmond, and hopefully cut down the point lead a little bit more, and pull away a little bit from third, and hopefully we can set ourselves up for the good chase and have a chance to go back to back to back. And that's just been the main mission this year, is just to have a chance and try to go get it, and do everything that in our possible power. It's not what everybody else does. Is what we do as drivers individually is what wins championships, and that's how we won the last 2. And hopefully it'll be a third here this year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, and still got a long ways to go.
Do have a long ways to go. You're going to get a couple of weeks off too, and so that always seems to help get a chance to relax, recharge, and I'm sure you'll have a decent amount of video review after this one, Kendall.
Yeah.
But with that said, we'll get you out of here. Friends, family, sponsors, shout them out, my man. You've earned it. Nice run.
Yeah, I got to thank Archway Industrial Coatings and Sean Mott and Jason Southard, all those guys that are involved with Archway's partnership and sponsorship of the league. They've been a massive help, and like I said, they've been helping out with this new project that we're working on for 2027, and on all fronts, it's going to improve this league, and I'm so excited to work on that and get that out to us hopefully here soon, and we can release some news about that here soon. But I got to thank them a whole bunch, because they've been kind of the front runners there of helping me with that, and I got a few other staff members that are starting to help me with that as well, and get that system set up and ready to go. So I got to thank them, and I got to thank Randy Dunlap with Outland Custom Arms, having them brought on board this year and sponsoring the league. They've been all those guys that I just mentioned have been a huge support of the league, and I can't thank them enough. And hopefully we're putting on a good product for them. I mean, tonight was a little rough, but you're going to kind of get that with IRP, and hopefully hopefully the product improves for them going on. But I think we're doing a great job and put on a good show when we're doing good. So got to thank them a lot, and got to thank Track Racer, Rogue Energy, Admin Box, Black Magic Studios, all those guys. Have a partnership with the league that do one way or the other for the league, and help us support us and get our word out there and our name out there. And we're starting to see some more growth and everything, which is good to see, and starting to see some new people, which is really good to see in the middle of the season. And both fields are looking strong. So got to thank everybody that showed up tonight, and got to thank all the staff. Got to thank all the team and everything, and got to thank Ted for running some practice laps this afternoon with me, and I think that's definitely helped out a lot there. And I got to thank the rest of the team, James, Mike, and John. And we've kind of adopted this new motto or saying, one team, one mission, and I think we suffice that motto every single week. And can't thank them enough, and got to thank you guys up here in the booth for broadcasting. Got to thank everybody watching, and thanks everybody for supporting the league. And I believe that's all, friends and family. If anybody's watching, thank you for supporting us. And I think that's everybody that I got. And whoever else, thank you, just to cover all the bases. And but yeah.
I wanted to say, you mentioned the product might not have been good. I'll tell you how exciting the night was, Kendale. I just watched you come off of turn number 2, and I was reading the sponsors down the right side of your truck as you tried to straighten it out coming off the corner. That was a tremendous drive. It was a pretty doggone good show. Thank you so much for stopping in. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. That is Kendale Paul. He runs second tonight. For the winner, we're going to bring in Austin Hund. Austin, you've got Murph, you've got Kendale, you've got Murph, and you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. Welcome to Victory Lane, my man.
Sir, thank you.
So you survived. There is not a mark on that number 1540 Raceway machine. Jim would be proud of having that one back in the shop because there's no work to be done, right? Talk to us about your night and how you managed to get to the lead and stay there.
I just started out real slow. I kind of expected a bunch of wrecks like there was at the beginning, and I just tried making sure I wasn't in any of them, and also used that time to figure out what grooves worked for passing, which ones didn't. Picked when it was time to go and started going.
Started to go, you did. You started 26th, and so you passed every car in the field but one. Was there any point where it became? Was there any point where you thought, man, I talked myself out of a good finish with a bad starting spot?
Maybe I don't remember exactly what point of the race it was, but I know there was one point where I got clear of I think 13th place, and 12th on up was 6 seconds ahead, and I wasn't gaining on them at all. I was like, man, if he goes green from here, I might be in trouble. But got some more caution and stacked them up. I learned a little bit more. Worked that.
And now for the intelligent questions and the ones that everybody wants to hear in Victory Lane. I give you to Caleb Brashear, P1 Broadcasting's racing expert.
So Murph put up a poll in the middle of the stream, a very serious poll in the stream.
Very, very serious.
Very serious. And it just asked one question, and it was, is a hot dog a sandwich? And I declined to comment on my answer, but what is your thoughts on this conundrum that Murph has put into the put out there for us?
Funny enough, I've seen that question floating around the last couple of days for some reason, but I would almost have to say it's a sandwich.
See, it's a piece of meat between two pieces of bread. It's a sandwich. See, the poll was split, by the way. There was no definitive answer from the community. So we got to put it to you to break the tie. Austin Hund breaks the tie. A hot dog is a sandwich. Awesome drive today, my man. Thank you so much for playing along. You win the race. You get the mic. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out, my friend.
First, the wife for holding all our rascals down while I'm doing it. They still run around that crazy when it's race time. So She does a good job bringing them up, setting them down, and then you guys putting it on TV. Kendall's putting the whole league together. Y'all working together to put on a good show. Jim over there, 4D Racewear, got some pretty cool stuff. Check them out.
Absolutely. That's Austin Hund. He is your winner tonight. Buddy, congratulations. Keep going fast and having fun. We'll see you at the next one.
Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely. That is Austin Hund, tonight's winner. And, well, Caleb, we get out of IRP. I'm sure there are some thoughts to be had tonight. What are yours?
Well, it was a tale of like two, it was a, what's the right words I'm thinking? Two sides of the same coin in terms of like the type of racing we got. The first half of the race was, very high attrition. There was a lot of incidents that were happening in the first two stages, and then we got to the third stage, and besides the initial restart, we went green to the end for 75 laps, and that was pretty interesting to see. And you definitely saw like how some drivers who gambled on not taking tires either in stage number 1 or stage number 2, it didn't really work out with them in the end there, and it kind of was kind of expecting to go that way based on how stage number 1 and even like a large portion of stage number 2 was going to happen, that you were just going to expect a caution like a decent portion into stage number 3, but we never ended up getting that, and it really just came down to a driver show. And that's where we kind of saw like some drivers like Chuck Sweetie and Dylan Grutzmacher who really gained a lot of time in the later half of the races, as well as Logan Edwards performing a good comeback on the rest of the field. Matt Wagner also coming back through the field towards the end there. It really kind of jostled up the entire thing there in the third stage by not getting any cautions.
It did, and that's my thought to it. Was the tale of two races, right? You had a lot of contact at the beginning, and then at the end it showed you really what IRP can be in these trucks. A lot of side-by-side action. They got spread out. It was great racing throughout the field, and really that's what all this is about, right? Is great racing. And if you want to see more of that, there aren't many races in all of iRacing that are greater than what's going to happen Sunday night. The Votive Indy Derby season opener, season 5, round 1, Kentucky Speedway, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, $400 to win. You'll get to see Caleb Brashear race. You'll get to see me attempt to not spin the car out. 8 o'clock Sunday night. Monday, the IndyCar Open Series is back with a top split at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. They'll be followed by the Indianapolis Road Series at 10. Tuesday, it's a triple header. The IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split at 8:15. The Indy Next Oval Series Tuesday night top split at 9:30. And round 3 for Area 51. It's Area 51 after dark, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Chicagoland. Wednesday, the Horizon IndyCar Series makes its return, 8 p.m. Eastern from Homestead. For their series opener, join myself and booth newcomer Say Hey Lewis Hayes. 8 o'clock Wednesday at 8:20. It's the Formula Indy Series. Thursday, we've got another doubleheader. Thursday, it's one race, the Elite Racing League P1 IndyCar Championship, race number 2. They had a big 500-miler at Pocono. They'll be back on Thursday night. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight here on P1. The fans in the stands enjoyed the debate about the hot dog being a sandwich. I might play devil's advocate sometimes, Caleb, but it was a great discussion. Good to see everybody in the chat and engaged. Do want to thank the drivers on the track for putting on an amazing show, but we also really want to thank the people that do make it really possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance, and Caleb, the nurse that unloads you when you get there. For everybody at P1 Broadcasting, we thank you at the bottom of our hearts, and we will see you Sunday night for Indy Derby 5. Have a great Saturday, everybody.